Today on the Northwestern News Report, without an in-person showcase, how the show goes on for theater students.
He's in love, he's in love, he's in love.
And virtuosos go virtual, as professors work to bring their music classes online. All that jazz and more coming up tonight on the Northwestern News Report. It's your news from my kitchen table right now. Hello and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Chloe Cope. While all students are facing the disappointment of in-person learning being replaced with virtual classes, performing arts students who rely on in-person instruction, rehearsals, and performances are feeling the blow especially hard.
There's also so many technical difficulties that could come up and break you out of character, take out of the scene.
But these students are also working to see the silver linings. For instance, music students are still hitting the right note, even though their in-person classes have been canceled for the quarter. However, some say that remote instruction just isn't the same as being together. NNN Savannah Kelly has more.
Thanks, Chloe. Virtual classes don't always provide the same quality of education as in-person learning. Now that the Beanan School of Music is holding classes remotely, some students say this change of tune is falling flat. While students are tuning in to virtual lessons and tuning up for performances over Zoom, one thing they can't do is play together in larger ensembles.
You need to play in ensembles in order to get better. And if you're not playing in ensembles, it's really hard to learn how to listen and to blend.
Trumpet professor David Bilger says Beanan ensembles, some of which have up to 90 students, just aren't the same on Zoom.
Yeah, we can't have 40, 60, 80, 100 players playing at the same time and relating in the way that musicians do.
Bilger adapts his teaching methods to focus on style and musicality, which he says are easier to teach over video than something like breathing exercises.
Finding ways to make it work has been a test, but I think at the same time it's tested creativity, and I think we found some creative ways to make small adjustments that make big difference.
Bilger says his top priority is the well-being of his students.
They also know that if they need to reach out, I'm just a Zoom away.
Aurora Green, who is pursuing a dual degree in violin performance and biomedical engineering, says there are some positive effects of online classes.
Personally, interactions with my professor the value's actually increased.
One of her professors plays in the Chicago Symphony, which is no longer performing due to the pandemic. Now he has more time to dedicate to his students.
He's got just time on his hands. And that means that he's spending a lot more time with us.
On the other hand, trumpet major Jack FARNHAM says virtual learning just wasn't worth the price of tuition. He's not taking any courses this quarter, but his professors still allow him to sit in on some Zoom classes.
The fact that I get to observe these without paying tuition, for me at least, is kind of the perfect scenario.
FARNHAM and ERICKSON both say if classes remain virtual, they will consider withdrawing for fall quarter. Chloe?
Thanks, Savannah. And dance students are also being kept on their toes. With their dance classes being taught online, dancers are adapting, turning their bedrooms into ballet studios.
Other than the whole, being at home thing, it hasn't been as bad as I expected for sure. Mostly I have problems with kicking that plant, or I have a tortoise in that little bucket.
Though Small says that her online classes are better than nothing, it just doesn't measure up to the studio experience.
Teachers are doing a really good job of making it worth our time, but compared to having enough space and having someone in the room to tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, it's a little tricky. Something is being learned, maybe just not as much.
And finally, senior theater students can't have their in-person showcase, where many of them find agents or managers to kick off their careers. But they're still finding new ways to make the screen their stage. NNN's Megan LEBOWITZ has the story.
This time of year, graduating theater students would usually have the chance to perform in showcases for industry professionals. COVID rained on that parade, but now theater students are focusing on putting out their material online.
Hi, my name is REKHIA Adams, and I'll be doing...
The show must go on for students like REKHIA Adams.
They pretend that this is all part of their 10-year plan.
With her New York showcase canceled abruptly, the curtain goes up on a virtual showcase.
Luckily, about a week before it was all shut down, we taped each acting student's monologues and each music theater student's songs. And we put it online like we've done for a few years.
They're awesome. Zach is an insane guitarist.
The theater department has posted showcase material online before, but this year, students know they cannot throw away their shot to make an impression online.
There's a lot of work of trying to get ourselves out there and like finding ways to get people to see us in a world where people aren't at work.
Hey!
Showcases can't be in person, but industry professionals are tuning in to hear these students' show tunes.
We were very lucky to have quite a lot of interest in our showcase. So a lot of our students have gotten terrific response.
I got like an email to send in a self-tape for CBS. So that was an interesting experience, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is happening, okay.
With performance classes online, the theater community says there are silver linings, like learning about acting for the silver screen.
It gives us practice on how to work on camera, which is what the world is becoming, because a lot of people have to send in self-tapes.
But in the age of social distancing, it's unclear when Broadway will be back.
Some of us have talked privately about, the fear. How long will it be till anyone feels like, for theater anyway, sitting in a dark room with no real personal space? I think that may be one of the last things to come back, but I believe it will come back. I think the world is hungry for live art.
Now, students promoting themselves online, working to end the year on a high note.
I'm coming back home with my...
Professor Cindy Gold says she thinks many industry professionals want to mentor students, but typically don't have the time. Now, Gold says agents and managers from across the country are zooming into her online classes. Chloe.
That's it for tonight. To all the resilient performers out there, we hope you were able to take the stage as soon as it is safe to do so. From all of us here at NNN, I'm Chloe Cope. Please stay safe and stay healthy.